Alright guys, Zachman18 here. Welcome back to the WTZM TV Channel 18 Superstation. It is time for part number 8 of our Let's Play of the Novelist on the PC. In the last part, Linda put on an art show and asked for Dan's help with publicity. He sent Paul a rough draft of his book to ease the blow of missing his deadline. So now it seems like Tommy's going to be struggling in this next one, so we're going to see if maybe we can help him out now. Catching up. When Tommy continued to struggle with stuff. There he is, right there. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Kaplan, I want to stress that it's perfectly normal for some children to fall behind in a specific area. Tommy may be struggling with reading comprehension, but his verbal and visual abilities are excellent. That said, he won't catch up on his own. He will need support from both of you. I recommend that you do the attached exercises with Tommy every weekday morning for 1 to 2 hours. He'll be unable to focus exclusively on these for 2 straight hours, so you'll need to take intermittent breaks, but use your judgment and stay with it as long as you feel you can stay engaged. I suggest that you do your sessions in the morning before he tires himself out and becomes distracted. I feel confident that with a supportive environment and dedicated exercise, he will catch up to the other children in this class. Please be in touch if you have any questions. Dr. Donald Samuels. And when I said school in the last part, I meant like just because it's summertime, so it wouldn't make sense.
Sorry it's been so long since I've written. Things have been hectic around here, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get things back on track. I don't really want to get into it, but we're getting pulled in a lot of different directions right now. Nothing hurtful, just competing priorities, I guess. Although those can get worse and worse over time. I mean, Dan and I, before we got up here, you know we'd started to drift. Look at that. I said I didn't want to get into it, and I did anyway. Enough about me. Please tell me you're doing well, and I hope this doesn't stress you out too much. I promise to write a happier letter soon. Yours always, Linda.
Oh, wow.
Dan and I had a good conversation today. Well, we'll have to wait and see if it was actually good, but I feel like I got my point across about family time. We've been getting a little frayed on the little things lately, and it reminded me of something Anne said one time. Love is a behavior, not an emotion. If something's important to you, you show it with your actions. We weren't doing so well with that before we got here. I told Dan my idea. I want us all to eat together at 7 every night, with family time after that. Tommy's wiped out by 8:30, so we'd get a solid hour and a half as a family, and then Dan and I could have the rest of the night to ourselves. And I think 7's a reasonable request. The rest of the working world knocks off at 5, right? It doesn't really matter what we do with the time, just that we spend it together. It's easy to make excuses when you've got a lot going on, which is why patterns help. I hope he feels the same way.
Oh, wow. That's not good.
And then...
Alan, this letter might come from out of the blue, but do you remember when you told me about Bobby falling behind on reading? Looks like we're there with Tommy. We knew he was struggling when we came up here, but his teacher gave us a list of books for him to work on over the break and said we should see how he responded to the change in environment. She gave us a few sample readings and told us to keep an eye on how he was grasping the concepts. Tommy still isn't there, and long story short, the pediatrician in town knows a specialist who gave us some exercises to try. They seem pretty straightforward, but I wanted to write and see if you had any tips that helped you guys with Bobby. Damn. Just realized I didn't even ask how you've been. Sorry. This stuff is just a lot to think about. Dan.
Perfect schedule. The single unattached writer's guide. 10 to 2 write. 2 to 3 eat and sleep away. 3 to 7 write. 7 to 8 eat. And 8 to 10 decompress to in life. Wrenches. Tommy till 11. Knock off at 7. So that's good that he's got a schedule for himself now. Lonnie learns letters, age 4 to 6. 12 chapters of reading comprehension exercises.
Time. This would all be easier if I didn't ever have to sleep. Last night after Linda went to bed, I spent some time, there's that word again, trying to make everything fit. I even drew up a little chart. Math is simple. It doesn't work. Technically, I could still get in 8 hours, assuming I don't eat or need to do anything that's not writing. But what about letters, reading, dealing with Paul? Hell, what about doing the dishes or taking out the trash? Not to mention the knocking off for the day isn't like flipping off a switch. It takes time to crawl out of my head and start functioning like a normal person again. And I can't just split it up into smaller chunks. Sometimes it takes an hour of false starts just to get going on anything usable. And stopping just sends the whole process right back to square one. Something's got to give.
We barely talked yesterday.
Wow, you're right. I guess we've just been so busy.
Oh my God. We just got home and wow. Now I wish we'd had a bigger gallery. It was packed. But I guess it's like a bar, being loud and crowded just makes people think it's cooler. What an experience. So many people said that the promo in the paper caught their eye and stood out from the usual notices. And I've got a call with the agent Dan found scheduled on Tuesday. I don't know how I'll feel in the morning, other than hungover, but right now, I want that rush again.
Good for her. Family should have dinner around the table every night. Yeah, I agree with that.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Tommy.
Come here. What do you got?
I think the rough draft was just enough to keep Paul off me a little longer. I hated sending it to him like that, but it was way better than sending nothing. At least I can prove I was working, that things are moving forward. He seemed to like the ideas that were there, though of course he had a lot of feedback. Fair enough. It was a rough draft, and I can't imagine the hell it would have caught if I'd sent him an empty envelope.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped. I just...
Hey, Dad.
Hey, my man.
So they got in a fight. Great.
Will it make me smarter?
Honey, listen to me. You are smart. It's just...
Okay. Her and the kid. Table. You shouldn't be rude to your family if you're... I mean, I know you're trying to get work done, but... Still. My opinion, that's a little BS. By the way, guys, if you want to, comment down below what your choices would have been. And why, too. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities in this game, which is what I really like about it. Okay, Lonnie book. Bam. And Shabuski. Okay. Linda was glad when Dan committed to family dinners each night, and she made sure to give Tommy extra help in the mornings. Being able to count on quality family time every night and knowing she and Dan would have dedicated time together gave the relationship a sense of stability that helped them face other challenges. That's right. Booyah. And Dan found a way to be there for the first half of Tommy's morning exercises. It was hard for Tommy to understand why his father, a writer, couldn't be there for the whole session, but he learned to accept what his father was willing to offer. And Dan couldn't figure out a way to please everyone and still make room for the time and focus he needed to write. He was able to compromise and fit in one unbroken session each day, but for the rest of the day he worked around his family commitments and tried to make the rest of the shorter sessions. The lack of focus came through in his work. Well, I think maybe we could make that a little bit of a change in this next one. We'll see, though. Alright, so in the next part will be the road ahead. Sounds like a finale, so I don't know. The summer came to an end, and Dan faced a difficult... Oh no, that's not good. Okay, it's time to finish this game, so get ready for the finale of The Novelist. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Blackman18, and I will see you guys in my next video, coming soon. Peace out.